today, just a little bit down the street with a very interesting project. Who are you?
I'm Benedom. I'm a neighbor of Doc's, and this is my junkyard.
Well, it's a burgeoning junkyard. It's the start of a junkyard. It's the stuff we like to see. I mean, I don't know, man. I think my backyard's still a little bit more loaded than yours is.
I got a couple barn finds lying around.
Yeah, you do. Anyways, we've got an interesting project for you here today, and we're going to tell you all about it right after this. Alright, so what are we cooking up here for today? Well, today I thought I'd bring you something just a little bit different than my normal content. We're going to do a Will It Run on a
1954 Pontiac Chieftain.
Part of one anyways. There's it, part of it, something. It's a complete rolling chassis, so we've got the frame, engine, trans, drive shaft, axles, front and rear, and that's all. But this thing has been sitting for God only knows how long, and has been outside for a while anyways, but
oh yeah,
who knows when the hell the last time the thing ran was. And this flathead 6 here, the high compression 6-cylinder, is really neat. I've never messed with one of these things, and we're going to try and get this old pig running today. What do you say we give her a shot?
I'm looking forward to it.
Right on. Wish us luck. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is bar this thing over to make sure it's not stuck. Bennett, you want to do the honors?
Love
Just
to.
Get it through a couple of crank rotations. Oh, it's moving. Nice.
Smooth.
Good. So we're going to roll it through a couple of complete crankshaft rotations to make sure there's nothing interfering anywhere or no hard spots. Do you feel any spots where it's sticking?
Nope.
Oh, that's awesome
You
news.
can feel the top bottom.
Beauty. All right.
She's sucking air.
Cool. Yeah, well, that's because for whatever reason,
tight.
Yeah, when we were playing with it earlier, we discovered that the plugs weren't tight, which kind of concerns me. There might be water in the cylinders.
We should probably plug in the air compressor and blow that crap out.
Let's do that. So this here, folks, is the engine. A little bit closer up here. This is the. Let's get the camera in there for a second. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. High compression. Malarkey, it's a flathead. But anyways, yeah, that was like their performance flathead at the time. I forget what the compression ratio was. It was something like 7.5 to 1, which by today's standards is not at all high compression. But yeah, here she is. I'm trying to remember what the displacement was. I want to say 239. What did we discuss? I know we talked about it.
I know when I bought it, I figured it was a 262. But I believe you found out that it was...
I thought I said 239.
I think that sounds familiar. And it was so far back that we talked about it too.
Yeah. This one's been brewing for a while. Anyways, yeah, we're just getting the crap cleaned out of the plug recesses before we pull the plugs out. They are loose. Apparently, at some point or another, somebody put oil in the cylinders. And I would have been a lot happier if they tightened the plugs down because it's been sitting outside, so there's probably water in there.
239.
239. Okay, so we're going to pull the plugs out, and I guess we're going to have to try the starter because we got to blow out the cylinders. So we'll get to that in a second. All right, so I'm just grabbing a ground cable here. We're going to have to try the starter and see if it works. Fortunately, Bennett's got a bunch of spare parts that came with the engine, including another starter and some junk. Those of you that are familiar with my channel might recognize this carcass here. Not that we know anybody with a Bannerman or two, but I think it's kind of my fault you have one.
Definitely.
Didn't get it from me, but definitely my fault that you have one. Anyways, yeah, I was kind of wandering around looking for a battery cable, and sure enough, here's one. So we're just gonna get some cables on that thing to see what the heck happens. Okay, so we've got some battery cables kind of rigged. And let's just kind of see what the heck's going to happen here. That's not a great connection. Can you grab me the vice grips off that table there, please?
Sure can. What's the gun you got going on over here?
This is a starter trigger because we don't have a key switch or a dashboard or anything. So we're going to use that.
Brilliant.
We're going to use that to trip the solenoid.
No starter switch. Oh, I have discovered something that I need to own.
Oh yeah, it's the bomb. Yeah, that's a really loose, crappy fit on there. That's going to cause us some issues. So I'm going to try and get a little heat on that. There we go. All right, so we're hoping the starter works on this thing, but it's been sitting outside forever and a half, so who the hell knows? So what we got to do is get the trigger on the small terminal of the solenoid down here. You see that? Yeah. This is where that's the spot that would connect to your key switch in the car.
Oh, okay.
And then to the other side, we're going to the positive battery terminal somewhere. And when I push this button, hopefully,
Ooh.
Ooh.
There we go, there we go. Alright, that's beautiful.
All right, cool. So
we got action.
Yes, okay, it's cranking, that's beautiful.
Sweet.
We don't have to get the spare starter out yet.
And that weird sound at the beginning was...
That is because the solenoid is not happy. It's not kicking the pinion gear all the way into the flywheel, so it's not meshing right.
Okay.
So we're going to pull these things out, throw a rag over it, and try and crank out whatever oil or grease or something might be left in there. There might be water in there. Okay, so plugs are out.
Plugs are out, wires are in.
Everything's good to go. Give her a crank, dude.
All right.
Wait for it to stop rolling before hitting the button again. Try it now. Woo! There we go. Oh yeah, I'll be cleaning off my cameras. All right, yeah, let the starter rest. Some stuff did fly out.
Yeah,
I think I have
some
to
spitting out.
I think I have to clean my lens now. All right, so a quick pause for the cause while Bennett runs off to his garage to go get the replacement spark plugs. And we got to start working on the ignition system because the wires are either chewed or missing. Who the hell knows what kind of state the points are in. We got to run power to the coil. I don't know if the coil's any good, but we do have a replacement. We do have a spare. We might just default right to the spare. We'll see. All right. So I've got the new coil here. This one is, you can't see the markings, 12 volts. Hopefully this one's good. Looks good. Can't guarantee anything. Just because something is new or looks new doesn't mean it works. But we are hoping for the best anyways. We're just going to get this all rigged up and bracketed while he's running for the spark plugs. Just take that off of there. And run the new ground wire. I have no idea if the distributor's any good, if the points are any good, but we are going to find out. Come on, baby. Switch. Thank you. All right. Good. All right. Let's pull this cap off. See what kind of state this is in. Ooh. Yeah.
So we've mounted our new coil.
Yeah, we got the new coil on.
That's mounted at a different angle.
That's, yeah. That's just the way the bracket landed.
Hmm.
That's okay. Should be fine.
That's different than the other one.
Rotor doesn't look too bad. We're just going to buff the end of that with a little sandpaper. I have no idea if these points are going to be any good. Get in there with the points file, clean them up, hope for the freaking best. So yeah, no telling what kind of shape these points are in. I'm just going to try and get in here with my file. Hang on, I'll get my own thumb out of the way in a second here. If I can get the bloody points to open. Can you see that shadow and stuff? I don't think these points are all that great. Let's see if I can get this to pop up. There we go. Come on, pop up.
Seems bent.
Yeah, it's not great. I can get my thumbnail under there so I can get the file in. There we go. Just gonna try and clean up these points a little bit. They have to be really quite good in order for the points to work. So we'll try filing them. I'm pretty sure that the points in your parts motor there in the garage are in better shape.
Okay.
So we'll swap these out if we have to. But I thought we'd give this a try first. So yeah, we'll clean up the points there and we'll get the cap and rotor and wires and stuff all on. So this all came off your spare. We've got your rotor button here. Let's just give that a little cleanup. That's actually not bad, but we'll give that a little bit of a cleanup. Okay, so what we are going to have to do because this actually came off another engine block, who the hell knows what's going on in terms of, you know, number 1 cylinder and all that stuff. I know there's a 1 on the cap. That doesn't mean anything here. So what we're gonna have to do is crank this over and find top dead center on the compression stroke for the number 1 piston. And then wherever the rotor lands, that'll be number 1 on the cap.
You got a bore scope?
Don't need a bore scope. We're gonna do this if you want to back out the shot. We're gonna do this the old fashioned way. When my finger gets blown off, there we are. If this thing will crank. Whoa, that was top dead center, excellent. I think we're there. The piston probably didn't land exactly at top dead center. I don't know if we have any marks here on the yeah, we kind of do.
Right there?
Yep. Might have to put a bar on this. Oh, no. That really should be in the neighborhood. Should be in the neighborhood. So our rotor button is kind of pointing this way down towards the starter. So I'll just grab the cap as is because I'm pretty sure in the right order on the cap. See where that's gonna, nope, that's not gonna be right. So it's pointing down here and number 1 as marked in the cap is up here. So we're gonna have to basically pull these off and move them over. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set the rest of these wires aside from now. And we're gonna do a spark test. And if we actually have spark by the grace of freaking God, then we will go through the process of getting everything wired up in the correct order and get all that done. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna need a wire to go from the positive side of the coil to the battery. And when that wire is connected, the ignition system is hot and the ground is provided by the points as this thing is rotating.
Which side of the battery, or which area of the battery?
Positive. So yeah, we're gonna go from the positive terminal of the battery to the positive terminal of the coil, and that would be the same as switching your ignition on. I might not have good contact here.
I think that's the issue.
Maybe if you can hold the camera with one hand. Beauty. Okay. We're also going to find out in a big hurry if this starter actually has enough jam to crank it over with compression.
Oh, you dirty.
Because it might not. Be prepared for that, eh? We might have to change starters yet. Just because it's rolling with no load doesn't mean it's going to work with compression. Yes, the bane of the ratcheting wrench is trying to get the box end in a tight spot.
I'm trying to get it back out.
Oh,
I can't finish getting it.
You did that. That's hilarious. I'm only laughing because I've done that a lot. I've done that so many times it's ridiculous. Although I won't admit it. Oh wait, the camera's rolling, isn't it? So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've never seen that before. Metal line going to the vacuum advanced diaphragm on the distributor, wraps around the front of the engine. And if I can just walk through the car, thank you. Metal line right here into the base of the carburetor.
This is metal line too.
Yeah, well that's probably, is that your fuel line? Okay, okay, yeah, so this line here goes into the choke housing. That's really cool. So it's a thermal choke and it just screws right into the exhaust manifold by the looks of it. That's special. And then the one you're working on right now is the fuel line. So there's the fuel pump right there. Obviously, we're not going to be making use of the fuel pump right now. No idea if that's going to work, but we're just going to basically force feed the carburetor. But yeah, all metal lines, none of these vacuum hoses or whatever. That's crazy. Okay, yeah, I got a little confused there. This is the intake manifold. This is the intake side, my bad. So is that choke somehow vacuum actuated? I have no idea. Sorry, this is the exhaust side.
Gasket grease.
Oh, nice. And so I'm not sure yet what this line coming off the exhaust is. I don't know. You know what? Throw some crap down in the comments, fellas, if you know what the hell the deal is with the line going to the choke and then the steel tube coming off the exhaust. Fill a brother in.
We got liquid.
Oh boy. Yeah, a little bit of rainwater made it in by the looks of her.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
We had it bagged, but apparently not well enough.
Not bagged well enough. Oh well,
hopefully
carry on.
it didn't fill up enough to go that way.
Well, we've blown the cylinders out, so any little bit that gets in probably won't be too much of an issue.
Okay. Holy crap.
Hope you're not cross-threading that.
No, it was tight. It was this tight coming out.
Okay. I'm in your way, you're in mine.
Yep.
Just trying to get this started so the carburetor doesn't walk away while you're doing that, which it's really trying to do.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so.
There we go, I think. Yep. Alright, these threads could use a little cleanup. I can't even get those on the rest of the way with my fingers.
Oh, I know. Need to take a wire wheel to everything that is threaded.
But this throttle move, yay! Alright, that's better.
Oh yeah.
The other one was solid. Alright, so, swap the carburetor on with something with a throttle butterfly that actually works so we can manipulate it. I actually swear I hear the squirter working. If we could get a fuel system to this, we could probably actually get it running even though the base gasket is fried.
Sweet.
Oh, I got a bunch of crap all in my face when I blew the junk out of the fuel line there. I don't know if where that filter was, if I could fill the bowl that way. Dribble a little. Where's that? Oh, it's coming at the bottom. Can you turn that fitting facing up? Sure can. Because unfortunately, idiot that I am, oh, nice wind, thank you. Not particularly familiar with this exact carburetor. I don't know exactly where the bowl vent is, so I can't fill the bowl the way I wanted it to. Turn that facing straight up.
Yeah, I have to back her off more in order to do it.
Oh, that's probably going to leak then. Excellent. Cool. Alright. So let's, that's going somewhere. Might be going into the bowl.
I think so, because that's where the fuel comes in there.
Okay, so just hold that open for a second. Anywhere. It almost sounds like we got squirter, but I don't know if I don't have enough fuel in the bowl yet, but I don't see squirting. I could also be flooding the daylights out of it right now. Alright, well, you know what? I'm going to hook up the ignition and hit the trigger and see if, grab that fuel.
Yep. See what happens?
Yeah, just, hold on, let me find my ignition wire here. I am going to get you to fire a shot down its throat right now. Go ahead, give it a, just squeeze the bottle. It'll come out the straw. Okay, whoa, not too much, not too much. Yeah, hold that choke flap closed. Okay, going hot. Trying to go hot. One more time.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, baby! She's gonna run.
Yeah.
Okay, so put another squirt down its throat. Okay, whoa, don't get too crazy with it. Now, I'm gonna try and light it again. Keep squirting as we go.
Oh, she's dumping stuff all over the place out of the exhaust.
Oh. Oh, you know what that is? Hold on, I'll get the camera around. Okay. So I'm gonna, wow. There must have been a lot of oil and crap from the cylinders being loaded going into the exhaust manifold and stuff. That was probably all collected in the exhaust manifold.
Oh, wow.
So you know what we should do before going any further?
More?
No, let's give this thing an oil change.
All right.
And we'll try and blow the rest of the crap out of it and see what happens. A little bit of that smoke was because we were feeding it a 2-stroke mix. Because when you have an engine that's not been running a long damn time, the extra lubrication is not a bad idea.
Okay.
But before we try to make this run any further, we should give it an oil change because God only knows what the hell is in it. So let's get set up for an oil. It runs, man.
Freaking dude, thank you so much.
Excellent.
This is awesome.
All right, let's give her an oil change and see what else we can come up with. Out with the old, in with the new.
It's been a long time since it had new oil in it.
Yeah, whatever was in that crankcase was not good.
It came out gray and watery at first.
Yeah, I think there was some water in there. I think there was some fuel in there, and there was definitely a bunch of sludge on the dipstick.
Thank God the old man put so much oil in it and poured it down the cylinder heads.
Yeah.
This thing would have been seized if it sat outside for that amount of time.
Oh,
at least I would assume. I've seen some pretty shocking startups.
Yeah, and I didn't want to have the seized fight today.
No.
I am grateful. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bottle feed her and try and get the fuel pump working.
Sweet.
So we've got the fuel pump sucking out of a gas can theoretically. I'm gonna get you to man the bang switch.
Woohoo!
While I force feed this thing, so you're gonna have to take our ignition wires and tie them together. Or just hold them together, whatever. Hang on, let me just get a feel for throttle positions here.
Okay, there's that.
Does that like go wide open and hold wide open? That's weird. All right.
Right now we're seeing if our fuel pump works.
We're gonna see if fuel comes spurting out here after a minute or two. Go ahead and hit it.
All right.
Do it again.
Looks like we may have to change the fuel pump. Fuck, she sounds good though.
Doesn't sound bad. Okay, disconnect the ignition. Nothing coming out of the fuel pump.
No, fuel pump's no good.
Fuel pump's no good. Well, let's bang on another fuel pump and see if we can get some life.
I guess it does this.
There's a diaphragm inside and 2 valves.
So this does this, and this is the pumping action.
Basically,
spinning
yeah.
around, but at a faster speed.
Yeah.
So as the cam spins, it's causing it to do this pumping action.
Right, which is moving a little rubber diaphragm up and down with a couple of valves in it. They're both one-way valves, right?
Okay.
One lets in, one lets out, and that's how it pumps.
Okay.
If everything works correctly and the stuff's not gummed up to hell and back. If the diaphragm is good and if it's not stuck up. So,
All right.
let's try this again. We're going to do the same thing again and hopefully get some fuel out of the fuel line this time. So, hook up the ignition, hit the bang switch, I'll force feed it. And if that doesn't work, our only other option really is to gravity feed the thing if we wanted to get it to try and sit and run.
I've been, my buddy John has one of those hospital stands,
Yep.
IV bag stands.
Yeah.
And he uses that for gravity feeding
Yep.
and bench testing motorcycles.
All right, when you're ready. That could have been the fuel that I poured in the line to get it primed. So try it again.
Oh, come on. I'm getting a lot of rusty bits out of coming out of the transmission.
It's moving air, but it's not pulling fuel. Whoa, there we go. I guess the hose just wasn't happy in
The
there.
hose was not happy.
All right, let's get this fuel line on and see what the hell happens now that we've made this giant mess. Unhook the ignition, please. The points don't like it if you leave it on too long without it running.
Oh. So what you're saying is I'm gonna have to have like a kill switch?
Well, an ignition switch of some kind is ideal.
But is this not the ignition switch? The
No,
kill
that's
is
the
in there?
starter switch. That's it, that's all. All that does is actuate the starter.
Oh.
So when you have, suppose you're sitting
So
in
there'll
your,
be a switch.
suppose you're sitting in your car. When you key on to the run position, you're making that connection. When you turn the key further to start, you're making that connection.
Oh shit! I just learned something new.
Stick around, man. I'll teach you some shit.
I look forward to it. Yeah, we're getting a lot of rusty chunks spitting out of the.
Out of the clutch?
I'm assuming it's coming out where the shifter is. No, where? Yeah, the
Yeah,
clutch.
that's the clutch.
Yeah, I think we have no clutch.
That's fine. Well, you know what? If we get that far, I wouldn't mind kicking the ass end off the ground on a jack stand or something and just
Pull the transmission off.
well,
see how.
see if it'll sit in neutral with the wheels not turning and the engine running, and then shift it into a gear and see if it takes a gear.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that'd be so exciting.
Okay, that's still running. This is still running. It might take a second for the bolt to fill, but we'll try this again.
All right. That's not a good connection. That's a better connection. All right. We ready?
Yep. Shit. Try it again. To get too hot. She is warming up pretty quick.
All right.
Beauty.
Let her cool down now.
Yep. Yep. It's not too hot, but it is warming up. Shit.
Okay.
Try it again. That's what we're going to do. As dumb as it sounds, just for kicks and giggles, I think that clutch is ruined. But we're going to fire it up and just grab the gear and see if it'll shift into like first, reverse, whatever the hell you got there.
All right.
So when you're ready, ignition on, hit the bang switch, and as soon as it's running, pull that wrench towards you and then slap the vice grips forward.
Pull this wrench and slap the vice grips forward.
Pull the wrench like backwards.
Okay.
And then grab a gear with the vice grips.
Okay.
No idea if this is actually going to work, but we'll give it a try.
Oh, you got to throttle it to get it into the right gear, don't we?
No, I'm just holding the choke closed so it'll start.
Oh.
Hopefully, without bottle feeding it. Do it again. When it wants. That clutch worked! Woo! Dude! Even the clutch works. Awesome.
It's fucking firing out so much rusty bits.
Is it just me, or did that smoke a lot less this time?
It did.
Awesome.
That's a good thing, right?
Yes, it is. That means that the rings are probably freeing up. All right, dude, so there you have it. 1954 Pontiac Chieftain, straight 6 runs, and thanks to that little clutch transmission test at the end there, I could say drives.
Yeah.
Right, it runs and drives. If we had a steering wheel and a cooling system, we could take it around the damn block.
That would have been fun.
Thoughts?
Might
impressions? What are you thinking?
I want to do more.
You want to do more. So
I
you're
wanna do
happy.
more.
You're happy
I'm
with
thrilled.
today. This all worked
I'm
for you.
ecstatic.
Right on. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I appreciate you
Thank you
giving
very
me
much.
the opportunity to shoot this, and maybe we can do some stuff in the future.
That sounds like a great idea.
To the rest of you folks, thanks for tuning in for this special episode of Sprocket's Garage. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, drop some comments down below. Tell me about this carburetor stuff and all the weird lines and all that junk, or your thoughts or your impressions. And until next time, take care of yourself.